Being a teenager is one of the most confusing times of your life. And to make it worse, everyone is telling you what to do, from your parents to your teachers to other adults in your life. They're telling you to become your own person, but at the same time, when you do that, they're judging you. They're judging you for your grades. They're judging you for how you dress. They're judging you for your friend group. They're even judging you if you say you want to go to college or you don't want to go to college. They make it seem like everything is a choice, but really they're judging you, and it makes it feel overwhelming, and all you're trying to do is survive. You're trying to be a normal teenager. You're trying to get good grades. You're trying to be a part of extracurricular activities, possibly have a job, but sometimes it can feel so overwhelming, and sometimes it really can feel like you just need direction instead of just judgment. So I want to help you with that. I want to give you guys 9 lessons I wish I got when I was a teenager. So let's get started. The first one is everything in life puts you in a different direction. There isn't really any bad or good. And this is one I really wish that I understood, because I was a overthinker. I overthought every single decision that I did or I didn't do. And I was like, is this going to be good or is this going to be bad? But one thing I've learned, and it's helped me be less of an overthinker, think of every decision just putting you in a different direction. Don't think about bad. Don't think about good. Just ask yourself, do I want my life to go in this direction or do I want my life to go in that direction? So if you're thinking about going to college and you're thinking about, oh my gosh, where should I go to college? Do I want to live in this city or do I want to live in that city? When you're thinking about, oh my gosh, do I want to go to prom or do I not? Do you want to have memories when you went to prom when you're older, or do you not want to have memories when you went to prom when you're older? I really just realized I overthought so many things because I felt like if I do something, it's going to be bad. If I do something, it's going to be good. Obviously, we want to make good decisions. So we overthink so many things. And I just wish someone told me that. Like, they're kind of really, don't get me wrong, there's certain things you could do that probably could put you in a bad situation. Like if you do something illegal, yes, you possibly shouldn't do that. But even that, sometimes take out the emotion. If I do this, what's going to happen? If I shoplift, if I do something illegal, if I do this and get caught, what direction is that going to put my life in? And I think a lot of people just need to sit down and think about that. Do you want to go to college? Do you not? Like, there's so many big choices that we have to make, and sometimes they become overwhelming to the point where we don't even want to make a choice and we just want to avoid it. But it's just asking yourself, with every decision that you make, what direction is this putting your life in? Because every decision puts your life in a different thing. And it's like, okay, if I make this decision, what will my life look like next year? If I make this decision, what will my life look like in 2-3 years, or whatever the case may be? But I definitely recommend that to stop being so overwhelmed and oh my gosh, what should I do? What should I do? Just ask yourself, what direction is this decision going to put my life in? The next one is, you are only behind in life if you are not on track with your goals. I think this is so imperative, especially with the surge of social media. You can see everyone doing everything. There are teenagers your age that have businesses. There are teenagers your age that just bought their first car, and you're like, I don't even know how to get a job, or I'd have my first job at a fast food restaurant. And it can make you feel behind in life. And one thing I really want to remind people, and I wish someone told me, you are only behind in life if you are off track with your goals. So this is why, first and foremost, it's imperative to have goals that you do want to achieve, things that you want to do, milestones that you want to have in your life. But don't get so caught up in what other people are doing. An example of this I feel like is so easy is college, right? For example, if you graduate out of high school and you get a job, you're probably going to make more money than someone that goes to college. If they go to college full time, they could probably only work part time. They can't make that much money. For those 4 years, you're probably going to make more money than that person that went to college. So it makes it seem like you're ahead in life. Maybe you can buy more things. Maybe you can go on more trips, all this other stuff. But when that person graduates, that degree is going to allow them to make a lot more than that person that did not go to college and do any kind of higher learning. So isn't that person ahead of that person? You get what I'm saying? There's always this imbalance of this person ahead of that person, this person ahead of that person. And that's why I tell people, don't look so much as far as finances and what people are doing. There are time periods where you're just going to have to lay low. There are time periods where I'm going to have to stay in the house. I'm going to have to study, and maybe I can't do this. Maybe I can't do that. And I don't want you to feel like I'm behind. Oh, I didn't get to do this and I didn't get to do that and everybody else did. If you are going towards a goal, if there's a milestone that you want to complete, and sometimes you're not able to experience the same things as everyone else, do it. Because what happens to so many people, I've learned with social media, so many people will get off track with their goals. You said you wanted to do this, you said you wanted to achieve that, but Now you're like, oh, there's a quick way to make money. Oh, there's a quick way to do this. Or there's a quick way to do that. So you get off track with your goals. And maybe you may make money for a little bit. And maybe you may go on those trips for a little bit. But eventually, all that stuff is just going to die out. Eventually, because that was never your goal. And I hope that made sense. But I say all that to say, you are only behind in life if you are not in the direction towards your goal. Don't let what anybody else is doing make you feel like you're behind in life, because also you don't know what people are going through behind the scenes. But then also maybe this is just your time to stay down. Maybe this is just a time period where you just need to stay down and learn, and you get what I'm saying, do what you have to do, but don't look at other people and say, I don't have what they have, because you are going to follow them, try to get what they got, and then you're really going to be behind in life, because this was not even the direction you were supposed to go in, and years later you're going to have to start all over when you could have just stayed on track with your own goals. The next one is work hard, play hard. This is one that I've definitely learned, and this is kind of going back off of getting off track with your goals. The individuals that you see in life that really play hard are those that really work hard. Now, the problem is with social media, we usually see like a very small group of people. So like we'll see the Nepo kids, the celebrity kids. We'll see the girl who was like, oh my gosh, so like popping in her city, and all of a sudden she was able to like start this hair business, and she don't know nothing about hair, but she's just a pretty girl. Those things happen. I'm not going to say those things don't happen, but as you get older, you start to see those people are so small compared to how many people are in America. There's not too many of those people. It just seems like a lot because you're only seeing them on social media. The people that really have the most fun when you become an adult, the people who really go on the trips, the people that really have the cars, are the people that when they needed to worked hard. And it's so easy for you to feel like it should be easy. I felt like that too so many times when I was younger. And I think as a teenager, it made me navigate towards easier things and want to do easier things, because I'm like, okay, well, I want to benefit off this. And the fastest way for me to benefit off this is if I do something that I already know, right? If I do something that's easy for me. No, the people who do the things that are hard, the people who work hard are the people who can play hard, because those are the people who end up making the most money and being able to have the most experiences. I really wish someone said that to me when I was younger. If you want to play hard, you want to have that life, you want to be able to experience those things, go on those trips, have those bags, have those shoes, all those other things, you are going to have to work hard for those things. And then after you work hard, your reward is going to be able to play hard. But too many people have it switched up. They think it's a play hard, or they think it's a play hard and then work hard. No. First, you have to work hard. You're going to probably have some sleepless nights studying. You're probably going to have some times where, things aren't necessarily easy for you. You're going to have frustration. You're going to sometimes cry. You're going to be frustrated. But I want you to understand those are all symptoms of working hard. Those are all symptoms of understanding that you are growing, and that is required if you want to play hard. The people who want things easy are the people who eventually are going to live the life that is going to be hard. The next one is, it's not that you can't do something, is you don't know how to do something. And I want you to understand the difference, because sometimes it can feel so frustrating. Like you want to achieve certain things, you want to make more money, you want to, do so many different things. And you're kind of just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. My parents didn't teach me how to do this. My school doesn't offer this course. Like there's so many things. And one thing I want you to understand is there is not anything that you can't do. You just don't know how to do it yet. So if you don't know how to do something, what does that mean? There's opportunities for you to do it. Listen, we have the internet. There's so much information on how to achieve different things, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're listening to podcasts, whether you're reading books. There's so much information out there to do anything that you want to do. You're just going to have to take the responsibility of actually learning how to do these things. But I want you to start understanding that, like, if there's anything you feel like you can't do, I can't do this, I can't do that, tell yourself, I just don't know how to do it. Give yourself the option to actually learn and understand, because there's a time period where you didn't know 1 + 1. Now, when somebody say 1 + 1 is 2, you're like, duh. But you had to learn it. There was a time period where you were young and you felt like you can't do it. When you were in the 6th grade, if somebody would have said, oh, next year you're going to the 12th grade, you'd have been like, I can't do that. Why? Because you didn't know how. But then you went to the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th. And then now when you're going to the 12th grade, it's like, yeah, because I learned how to do it along the way. Look at anything you want to achieve in life as that. It is not that I cannot do anything. It is I don't know how to do it. And now I need to figure out the steps how. But I wish someone said that to me, because there were so many things in life that I jumped over or I tried to get over because it's like, I don't know how to do this, so I'm gonna try this. Well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna try that. And going back to what I said is, it was me avoiding the hard things. It was because I really felt like, well, if my mom didn't teach me this, well, if my family didn't teach me this, well, if my school didn't teach me this, how am I supposed to, like, I just can't do it. Like, I'm just not the kind of person to do this thing. And it's like, no, now this is your responsibility on yourself to learn how to do this thing. The next one is your network is worth more than money. And I wish this is something that someone told me when I was in high school, because I was someone that did join like extracurricular activities. I did do sports, but I did not use that as a network. Like, I wish I would have followed more people on social media. I wish I would have gotten more people emails. I felt like for certain things, I was kind of like in the background. I was there, but I wasn't really there. And the reason why this is so important, and I wish someone told me this, is because as you get older, you start to understand your network, the people that you know, is worth more than money, and sometimes it's worth more than education. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you that you should not work hard to do what you want to do and all these other things, but there's so many different versions of you that you don't understand. When you are in high school, especially if you go to a small high school, right? There's one valedictorian, there's one salad. You haven't been in school in a while. Long story short, there's a lot of, people that are, there's ones, right? There's one person that's really good at football. There's one person that's really good at basketball, all the other things. But especially if you go to college or you go out of state or you just move, you start to see there's so many different versions of the same thing. There's a lot of people that are good at basketball. There's a lot of people that are really smart. There's a lot of people that are really pretty, contrary to when you were in school. And we've also been seeing it, especially because social media. I say all that to say, when you are trying to get jobs and you are trying to get hired, how is somebody supposed to hire you if you've done the same thing as everyone else? You literally got the same similar GPA. You went to a similar school. You have similar experiences. How are people supposed to know who to hire? You start to understand as you get older, people get hired more based upon who they know more than what they know. Like I said, I'm not telling you not to get your education. I'm not telling you not to, do all those things, but build a network. Start talking to people. Like, there are some people who go to these big top universities and spend all this money and literally stay in their dorm all day. They don't get to know anyone. What is the point of doing that? Like, that's the point of people sometimes going to these big schools, not just to say I went to the school, but also who you get to know. Even now in school, you should be joining committees. Now in school, you should be doing different things, and even things that don't necessarily seem like you would like to do them, just try. And I really wish someone would have told me that. Like, your network is worth more than money. The people that you know will get you so much farther in life. And sometimes too, it doesn't seem like it because we're all young, right? You're a teenager, everyone around you a teenager. There's some people around you who are going to be making six figures. There are some people around you who might be business owners, all these other things. And it's like, you never know who these people are going to be, just like you never know who you're going to be. Start networking with these people. I'm not saying that you have to be buddy with everybody. Get people's social media handles. Start joining different clubs. Get your name out there. Get your face out there. Because even when you do decide to go to college, they're going to ask for letters of recommendation. There's some people who don't even have nobody to recommend them because they stayed inside the house. They never went outside. Nobody knows them. When you go to college and you start joining certain committees, they're going to ask you letters of recommendation. Wouldn't it be best to say, oh my gosh, I have my principal who gave me a letter of recommendation, than saying my aunt? The next one is stop searching for your passion. Your passion comes from mastery. I felt like I was a person that was really searching for, like, what makes me so happy, and like, what's my passion and what do I really want to do? And I think a lot of people do when they're teenagers. But one thing I had to learn is your passion comes from mastery. You are not passionate about something until you master something. When someone plays a guitar the first time, they're bad at it. By default, they're not really liking it. But usually your parents are paying for a class, you're doing it in school, so you decide to stay with it. Once you start becoming good at the guitar, that is when people can say, I'm passionate about playing the guitar. I want you to understand that so you can understand everything you do the first time, you're going to be bad at it, so you're not going to like it. Too many people think you're going to start doing something the first time, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is my passion. I love this thing. That is not how it's going to work. Once you start getting good at things, you are going to say, this is my passion. Once you master things, that is how you find your passion. And I want to say that because I think there's always this feeling when you're a teenager, especially because you're about to turn 18. Do you go to college? Do you not go to college? If you go to college, what do you go to college for? I don't want to make the wrong decision. And there's so many thoughts that you have. And I really wish someone would have just told me, like, All you're going to have to do is find first what you like, and you find what you like from having different experiences. Like I said, going back to before, joining committees, doing things that don't necessarily seem like you would like those things. I felt like I was very like only doing things where my friends were in a group, only doing things that I felt like I was good at. I wish I would have opened my surroundings, opened my horizon a bit more, and did more things, because it's also good to find out what you really don't like. You don't know if you don't like something if you don't try it. Try doing something that might be different. And what's the worst that can happen? You join a committee for a semester. Like, it's not that like so crazy, but that's what I recommend too. Paying attention to where you have A's. I know our parents are always like, oh, bring up that C, you got a C. But one thing you will realize is that class where you have an A is usually the class that you like better. Going into that, are you someone that likes STEM? Do you like science? Do you like math? Are you someone that likes communication? Like, paying attention to those things. But that's really what I wish someone told me. Your passion comes from mastery. So stop trying to find your passion at everything. Find what you like, get good at it, and that is how you build a passion. The next one is, nobody cares about you as much as you think they do. And I know we always hear this, oh, stop worrying about what people think about you, and don't worry about what people think about you. There's two ways to look at it, because I do think that that's true to a certain extent. First and foremost, I'm going to be honest. When you do things that are different, when you do things that people aren't used to, yes, they are going to judge you. Yes, they may talk about you. That's going to happen. I'm not going to lie to you and say, no, oh, no one's going to say anything. That is going to happen. But one thing I want to ask you is, the last time that you said something about someone, just be honest with yourself. The last time you saw somebody have a crazy hairstyle, last time you saw somebody have an ugly outfit, all these other things. The last time that happened, when do you remember that happened? And for how long did you talk about that? Did you talk about it in the moment with a friend? Did you just think something in your head? Or did you talk about that thing for days on end? Most of the time, it happens in a split second. It's a bubble. You see something, you recognize something, you keep going. That's what I mean when people aren't thinking about you as much as you think. We think in our heads, oh my gosh, people are never going to forget this, and they're never going to forget when I wore this outfit. They're never going to forget when I started that business. They're never going to forget when I posted that cringy content. They're going to forget it over time, even if they do judge you. And then also, going off of that, people are going through their own things, just like you are. And one thing I've realized, I remember the first time I wore like my natural hair in school, I thought it was going to be such a big thing because I had never done that before, and nobody really cared. And I really was thinking people were gonna like say stuff. Don't get me wrong, maybe people did say stuff. I've never gotten nothing back to me, but it was just stuff like that. Like, I was overly thinking about this decision, overly. When you come in with confidence, I came in with confidence. I came in kind of like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. It was just like oh, okay. Like, I really thought people were gonna care, and they didn't. The second component of this that I wanted to talk about is, when I say people aren't worried about you as much as you think, they're not worried about your well-being. One thing I've realized when I've gotten older, people forget about you. Kind of going off of what people forget about what you do, but people literally forget about you. And I want to make this so realistic as possible. There are individuals who I went to school with that passed away, whether it was for health reasons, whether it was for accidents such as cars, different things like that. Every so often in conversation, someone will say, oh my gosh, remember so-and-so? Yeah, remember so-and-so. I mean, of course they'll say their name, but I want to say that to say, like, life is going to happen, and you're so worried about what people are going to think about you. And when you're not allowing yourself to literally live your life, you're not allowing yourself to literally make some choices, like I said before, that can put your life in a different direction. You're not living your own life because you're like, oh my gosh, what are people going to say about me? You could be going tomorrow, and within the next year, people are going to say, oh, remember this person. You are going to be a memory. You're going to be something of the past. And I'm not saying that to scare anyone, but I'm saying that because you will be so worried about what these people think about you, but they're really not worried about whether you're here or not. And I really wish I understood that when I was a teenager, because there were so many different directions I think my life could have went in if I would have allowed myself to just do things in that way. There possibly could have been different passions that I had if I just allowed myself to make decisions and not worry about what other people think about me. Because sometimes that is the biggest thing holding you back. You have to understand, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So a lot of these decisions that you're not making and things that you're not doing, you're like, well, I don't want to make this, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, because I don't want people to judge me. I want you to understand you can never elevate. So you're like, I don't know if I should start this business because what if people say this about me? well, then you're never going to start that business. You're never going to make that money. I don't know if I should post this content because I don't want people to judge me. Well, you're never going to post that content. You're never going to become an influencer because you're worried about people judging you. You understand? Like, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You are going to miss some shots. You are going to be judged. People are going to talk about you for a little bit, but there are going to be times where you're going to be successful. There are going to be times where you are going to find your passion, and don't allow yourself not to find your passion because you're so worried about what other people will say. People, listen, one thing you realize in life, people need to worry about themselves. And as you get older, you start realizing you have bills to pay, you have responsibilities to worry about. Nobody's gonna ask you when you're an adult. None of the people who went to school with are gonna be like, hey, just wanna knock on your door and say, do you need some money to pay your bills? Hey, just wanna knock on your door and say, hey, I saw this recently happen to you. Do you need any help? Nobody's that worried about you. So please don't be worried about them. And the final one that I wanna say is nobody has it all figured out. I think that was one of the biggest goals that I had as a teenager, was to figure everything out. I was so hyper independent. Like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure that out. And I would do so many things trying to figure everything out. But one thing I had to realize is my parents don't even have it all figured out. My grandparents don't even have it all figured out. There's nobody in this world that has everything all figured out. There are individuals in this world that know more on specific topics than others, yes, but nobody has this thing called life figured out. So don't overly fixate on making the best decision. Don't overly fixate on, if I do this, I'll have everything figured out. Now, there's always going to be more tasks. There's always going to be more problems and more things. And I really wish I thought about that, because it caused me, I feel like, to speed and want to get things so fast and do everything so fast and want to grow up so fast. And a lot of times not be in the moment. And I think that was one of my regrets, like not being in the moment. And like I said, sometimes joining the committees or going out with people or just doing things because I wanted it to be so fast. Stop trying to make everything so fast. It's not going to make you figure out life faster. A great example of this is I posted a video on TikTok and this girl stitched it, and I was talking about people wanting things fast. And she was saying how she graduated school and she went to college and she got a 4-year degree, I think in like 2 years. And then she got her master's really fast, and then she got into the work field, right? Because she was like, I want to get into, corporate America. I want to start making money. I want to figure everything out. She was like, I'm in my 20s, and that was one of the worst decisions that I ever made. Because now, like I said before, it looked like from the outside looking in, oh my gosh, she's ahead of everyone. She's, if you're not graduating early, if you're not doing all these things early, if you're not making all this money fast, then she must be ahead of everyone, right? You must be behind her. She said, now I've been in my job for a few years, and all those people who I graduated faster than, all those people that I was ahead of, those people are literally making the same much as money as me. But you know what the difference is? Those people have college memories. Those people have college friends. They were able to network. They have experiences because they weren't trying to figure out things so fast. And I had to realize that, like, you can only do what you can do. And it's okay to go off track. And it's okay to make mistakes. And, like, I don't know. It's just like, don't beat yourself up about it because no one has it figured out. Even the people that you may think have it figured out, they don't. They're just trying to do what they can do every single day to survive, like all of us. So that's the final thing I wanted to leave you with. Like, don't get off of this video like, I have everything figured out. I know exactly what to do. You're still gonna make mistakes. I still make mistakes. Everyone still makes mistakes. Don't beat yourself up about them, but just learn from them. And just say, okay, I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not gonna allow this to happen again. But don't go into things with the mindset that you have to have everything figured out. Allow yourself to grow, because that's just a normal part of life. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did like my content, of course, check out the rest of it. I also have a podcast I'll link below. I also have a Pinterest I'll link below as well. Thank you all so much, and have a great one.